I don't want to record people without permission, but um,
Do what
so
you need to do.
what were we just
I
talking
mean,
about?
um, about how
Oh
the
yeah, yeah,
video within itself is upsetting that it's gotten this far and it's used in such a way without the proper knowledge on it.
yeah. The thing that occurred to me to ask, or mention, some people say that one person has said that 4 months of rehab is not enough, but I
It
don't
wasn't
know.
four,
Yeah,
it
I
was
don't know
three.
the duration. Okay. I don't know what particular substances you struggled with. Could you enlighten me on that?
Of the substances.
Yeah,
Um, okay, I know that this may sound suspicious, but do I have to?
you can type it to me if you like. The
I'd really
reason.
just rather not.
Okay. The reason
It's,
I suppose you
hmm,
don't have to. The reason I'm asking is because certain substances affect the memory. Uh, so things like something as something like meth probably would. Something like heroin probably wouldn't. Uh, and I was talking to a friend in real life who also struggled
okay,
with substances at like a young
I'm
age. Go
I'm
ahead.
just gonna say this. I live in Texas. There's a substance here that's extraordinarily easy to obtain
Hmm.
here. So I don't know what you gotta do to figure out what it is, but whatever you do, just
This, by the way, this recording will only be shared with Yamatsume, your mentor.
Oh shit. Okay, meth.
Okay, all right. Yeah, and the friend I was talking to struggled with the same thing at a young age, as a result of trauma, uh, not having the support that she needed in youth. So I can't blame you for that. You can't blame yourself.
Well, I mean, let's just say my dad wasn't necessarily the best person,
I feel you.
and he did a lot of things that
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
trauma.
Yeah. 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 My dad. You know. My dad struggled with anger, and when I was a kid, he was a single parent, and
Um, I
yeah.
wouldn't necessarily say, well, that's a lie. My dad did indeed struggle with anger, but my dad was a very old school and firm believer that discipline is violence,
Right.
and violence leads to submission, and
Right.
submission leads to respect, which is how you get a child or an animal to listen to you. So it was basically violence and verbal
Okay.
based fear mongering.
I get you.
And it's not just me that went through it. It is my stepbrother and my half brother as well.
Yeah.
It's just, I feel as though they're too young to understand what they're going through right now. And I do hope that within time they will be able to realize that the situation that they're currently in is not okay. But I must say, on his behalf, in his defense, he has been doing a lot better recently in terms of that. He's been more accepting of me religiously, and he's coming to terms with the fact that I'm growing up. I'm almost an adult now.
Yeah.
I'm coming to terms with the fact that my dad isn't the horrible person that I've known him to be for the past few years. He's not that person anymore. And I'm getting the closure that I needed for so long. And I think that that is what really instigated the majority of this change. Is surprisingly not the rehabilitation whatsoever, but it's the fact that a lot of my personal trauma and personal life issues are finally settling down. My family has barely any tension within itself. Actually, for my aunt's birthday, which was, I think, literally just a little less than a month ago, we all went out together to a Chinese place that we usually go out to for family occasions, but we haven't been there in like years, and it was the first time that my family had been like all together, like every single one of like us on that side of the family, like my grandmother, my grandfather, my dad, my brothers, my aunt, my uncle, like my cousins. We were all together in the same place, just genuinely having a good time with zero tension, zero arguments, zero drama.
Hmm.
And like it felt really nice. It felt really nice because like again, whenever my half brother was like born, these tensions started to arise, and that was almost 8 years ago. So going that long without, you know, the love of like my dad or the support and love from my brothers or being literally cut off and just disregarded as a whole by that entire side of my family. Like they acted as if I didn't exist at all.
Yeah.
Like they were ashamed of me. It leads you
It's
down a really bad road mentally.
I
And it's
yeah.
it's finally getting better. And I'm really happy about that.
I'm happy for you. I I can't really understand that specific dynamic. Um, yeah. It sounds like your dad was like doing what he thought
Mm.
would be best for you, but it was misguided, rooted in what he learned himself growing
Like
up. But
I want to blame him so much because they were his actions, but at the end of the
mhm,
day, I know like deep down that it was only a stem of generational trauma
yeah,
because that's how he was raised and that's all he knew how to raise me.
I think it's great that you recognize that. And in the in the essay I sent you, if you remember that, I talked about forgiving my father a little bit, uh, understanding that he wasn't born rotten. He grew to be the way that he was, and I have to forgive him for that and see that he's changed. Uh, yeah, yeah, that's my piece on that. That's far off from whatever I was trying to investigate, but thank you for opening up to me about that. I see you as a friend. I see you as someone that I want to hang around, or hang out with, and I do want you to join the clan. I want you to be accepted back in.
The feeling is very mutual.
Awesome.
I mean, you're already in the clan, but I
Yeah,
think you get
yeah,
the point.
yeah. Well, I might be rejected, but whatever.
No, you.
Well, no, I'm choosing. I'm asking for rejection because I need to think. I need more time to think on exactly why I did what was wrong, and it's not your fault really. I'm not mad about it. Initially, I was. I used excuses like I just used excuses.
I
um,
feel bad though.
well, it's also a learning experience for me, and I'm appreciative of that.
Mm.
That's the way I look at it.
You're trying to see the good in this.
Being rejected isn't like maybe
It's
to
not
some
too
people it's bad,
terrible.
but yeah, it's mostly just like a break. It's a
It's
break
an
to
opportunity to think things
yeah.
over. Take a breather. You see, I
Okay,
thought you were sending this to the clan members, so I was like really anxious about saying a lot of this stuff.
that's
When I
fair.
figured out you were just sending it to Yamitsume, I was like, ah, shit, that's my homegirl. I'm kidding.
Right, yeah.
You
Yamatsume
get
is
the point though.
super badass. Oh, I'm still I'm still recording, so it's a little weird. Gonna sit. uh,
She took a very big hit when she agreed to do this for me.
she did.
And I don't think she understands the extent of how grateful I truly feel.
Yeah. One reason I feel like so, I'll focus on this later. One reason, um, one reason I think Yamatsume chose to accept you is because she had faith in you, and I would have stepped forward to do it, but my reputation had a huge risk to be tarnished. Even if you did nothing bad, just choosing to take that position
Hmm.
would make enemies. But Yamatsume has an interesting dynamic in the clan where she is already enemies with many people. She's kind of, but
She
she,
didn't see it as a lose situation.
right.
She thought that, like, she had that mindset that she had already lost everything, so there's no point in trying to defend something that's not there.
I don't, I actually, I think she took it on herself because, yeah, that's true. Nothing, like, her reputation can't really get worse. But she's using her bad reputation to help the clan where she can. I think that's really interesting and creative.
I also think that she understands what it feels like to be mass-hated like I am, so
True,
I'm
very
hoping
much
she
so.
feels just a little bit of sympathy in that regards.
I'm sure she does. She might not show it to you since you're not like family. Uh, but
Mm.
yeah,
I know she's a sweet individual, though. I remember very little of her, but what I do remember of her is that even whenever I was like rejected and on the verge of exilation, she was still willing to accept me into Shoryo Shinto and teach me just a little bit. And of course, it never got to that point, but like the fact that she was still willing to put everything that I did aside for something that I just said that I wanted,
yeah,
it
to extend a
it
hand.
touched me.
Usually, yeah, that's often with some people. That's all it takes to to make change in themselves.
I wonder why she's hated as badly as she is.
There's some things I can't really talk about since you're not a clan member, but
I won't ask, but I'm just expressing
yeah,
that
that's
that's a
fair.
curi
Curiosity. Yeah.
of mine. It's just the way she portrays herself, she doesn't seem like the type of person to hurt a fly unprovoked.
Unprovoked, yeah.
It's just like I don't understand how people can deliberately hate others who are just nothing but nice. I'm not saying Yamitsume is nothing but nice, but that's all she's shown me. That's all I know of her. So,
She this is conjecture, if that's the right word. She might think that she might invest in you because she thinks that she has hope in you. Or yeah, um, but some clan members she may not have hope in, maybe, and so she takes it on herself to. Yeah, I can't talk about it. She's doing. She's a beast though. Okay. Thank you, Yanagi. I'll end the recording.
can we play Rat House now?
Rat House.